Hey everyone, I'm Dan. I've been the voice for Comicstorian for the past year and a half, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but honestly it's just been too hard for me. However, I think I'm finally ready to introduce myself, introduce the channel to the next chapter, honor Benny with the new logo change, and being transparent with you about what happened last year, June 8th, 2024, when Benny passed away. So, to start off, I'm Dan. I've been here at Comicstorian since 2015. Benny first hired me when I was working at GameStop, and he was coming in for pre-orders for his Eligible Monster gaming channel, and his Comicstorian channel was popping off, and he needed to hire an editor. He knew I was good with computers, and he said, "Hey Dan, do you want to edit videos on YouTube for comic books?" And I said, "I have never edited a video, I've never read a comic book, and I don't really watch YouTube. So sure, show me what to do and I'll do it." And that was when Benny hired me as his very first employee, and I started working out of his living room, editing videos for the channel, starting with my very first video, which was the origin of Joker's daughter. I've played a pretty big role in everything that's happened on the channel since 2015 when I joined, starting as the editor, Dan T. Editor, some of you might know me as, growing into host, cameraman, producer, some of you might know me as Dan T. Producer, and essentially, I was Benny's right-hand man for everything Comicstorian. And I was his best friend, and he was mine. Everything I know about YouTube, I learned from Benny, from watching him and working with him, and everything I do for this channel, I do with him in mind. Now, I also wanted to let you guys know who the current staff of Comicstorian is. Right now, it is Natalie, Benny's wife, who is doing some of the editing. Andy, Benny's brother, who has been with us since 2018, still doing script writing, keeping the vision of Comicstorian the same it always was. And myself, Dan. I've been doing the audios, editing, thumbnails, and essentially everything behind the scenes to help please that ever-changing YouTube algorithm. And so, Benny's legacy is being carried on by his family and his best friend. Now, to honor Benny moving into this next chapter, I've decided to change the logo back to the original logo when I first joined Comicstorian. It is Benny's face, as some of you might know, but it was the very, very first one. So, for some of you, it's brand new, and for others, it's a blast from the past. Benny has always considered us Team Comicstorian, and he only changed the logo in 2018 because he wanted to start getting his face more out there, be more recognizable, and get onto some other podcasts, spread his wings and fly, so to speak. It's why we also started doing on-camera intros, and we started a lot of our podcasts. But no matter what happens on the channel, I always want to keep Benny a part of it. And that's why I'm changing it back to that original logo, because we're Team Comicstorian, and we always will be. Now, Benny was always coming up with new ideas. He was always making new channels, doing new things, and had actually planned on eventually taking a big step back from Comicstorian, only doing an audio here and there, and actually wanted me to take the lead. It's why he got me introduced to you guys with the House of M series and the Avatar series. It really sucks that this is how that transition had to happen. And now I'm going to explain to you what happened last year, June 8th, 2024. I'm going to keep some details to myself because they're still too hard for me to talk about. But I'm going to give you all the factual data that I know to be transparent and prevent the spread of any misinformation by AI slop or people pretending that they were his friends. So last year, June 8th, I was meeting Benny and Rob for breakfast, as we did most Saturday mornings. Benny had talked about having a stomach ache, but frankly, nothing really raised a red flag about it for me. And especially not when he ordered 2 breakfasts, one while we were waiting for Rob and then another once Rob had shown up. After breakfast, we all went home. We drove separately, we all headed home, and I got home, and it wasn't until an hour later that I got a phone call that Benny had not gotten home. I immediately got in my car. I drove to his house as fast as I could. I went down one of the routes I thought that he might have gone down to see if I could spot him. When I got to his house, Natalie was there. I picked her up and we started driving around. We started driving down everywhere we could think of that he might have driven, that he might have gone. We went to multiple hospitals, checking the emergency rooms to see if he was at any of them. It wasn't until Rob called us that we learned where Benny was, and I drove as fast as I could to get there. And when I showed up, I got the terrible news. I talked to the state trooper. He had stated that a witness called in that the driver of the vehicle had gone unconscious, drove off the road into the ditch and flipped the car. He told me that he died on impact and did not suffer, but that there was nothing that they could do and that he was gone when they arrived. We don't know what happened. The coroner and medical examiner and everyone that basically their job is to figure out what happened couldn't tell us. And so to this day, we don't fully know what happened. We only know what eyewitnesses said and that there's nothing that they ruled out everything that they could check for. That's why when we gave the announcement, we said that it was medically inexplicable because that was really all we could say. It was medically inexplicable. We don't know what happened, and frankly, it's still hard to deal with. But essentially, that is what happened. I'm hoping by being honest with you all and being transparent, it's going to prevent anyone from making up stories or creating their own narrative or whatever people do these days. But anyway, that's all of that. That's who I am. We're going to still keep doing the complete story series here at the Comicstorian channel, keeping true to the way that Benny ran things. And I wanted to also thank everyone that has stuck around and everyone that has left positive comments. They've helped a lot. Benny was always a really big supporter of basically everyone he knew. And every time I read those positive comments, I hear his voice a little bit. And so I really thank you for that. Some of you have asked how you can support the channel, and it's basically the same as it's always been. Watch, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Just keep loving comic books the way that Benny did, the way that I do, the way that we all do. And keep being part of the comic book community with the same passion that Benny brought to it. But Benny's always going to be a part of this channel, and here we are moving to the next chapter with him always in our hearts. So rest in peace, Benny. We really miss you.